welcome to Mrs. Nyholt's author interviews. Today we are going to learn about a man who most people find bizarre, grotesque, imaginative, and prophetic. Now, you might be thinking, how could a single author afford such a varied definition in how he's viewed? Well, today we're going to look at how our author, Aldous Huxley, affected the culture he was a part of, as well as his society, and some of the things that his book revealed to us in his novel, Brave New World.
Aldous Huxley was born July 26, 1894, in Surrey, England. His father Leonard was a writer and a schoolmaster, and his mother Julia was the niece of poet Matthew Arnold, who most of you likely have heard of. Huxley's grandfather, Thomas Huxley, was a famous zoologist and carried on a family legacy to Julian and Andrew Huxley, Aldous's brothers, who both became outstanding and renowned biologists.
Aldous himself was also well aware of science. He couldn't avoid it. Because of his interest in science, he decided that he wanted to go into medicine. However, after the loss of his mother, he suffered from an eye disease that nearly blinded him for 2 years. His loss of sight meant a loss to his medical career, but not a loss for his career in writing.
Huxley's loss of sight could have afforded him a better perspective on human beings. He makes this distinction constantly in his writings on science and literature, as well as many other works relating science to the written word and humanity. Aldous Huxley was able to combine his ideas of science with his talent for writing in the creation of his most famous novel, Brave New World.
Brave New World is a highly scientific story, but also highly inclusive of Huxley's opinion on human nature. Huxley believed that these things, such as intelligence and goodness of people, need to work together. Something he talked about in an interview. Let's take a look.
Well, I think I would want to say that the two essential and important and indispensable things are, first of all, intelligence in the widest possible sense of that word, and goodwill, or in the old-fashioned word, charity, love. I mean, these two things have to go hand in hand, because intelligence and knowledge without goodwill and charity are apt to be inhuman, and goodwill and charity undirected by intelligence and knowledge are apt to be either impotent or misguided. So the two have to go together.
So we see that without these things like goodness, charity, and love, intelligence and its outpourings are evil and will only do harm. We see these evidences as you will continue to read about in the novel Brave New World.
Our current culture can oftentimes look like a laboratory or a factory, making us all alike. It's in our nature. We're all like these little experiments. If Huxley in his blindness could identify this, then maybe we, with open eyes, should be more ready to analyze and understand our culture.
So your challenge from this vodcast today is to think about how the separation of intelligence and charity plays out in your assigned chapters for reading. Consider how these two instances of human nature help us understand the Brave New World, and as well as those questions, make sure that you consider how these ideas play out in our modern world today. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Mrs. Nyholt's Author Interviews. Hope you had a great time. Happy reading.